Welcome to Saving Us, where we discuss relationships in marriage, family, and beyond. Relationships are hard work and should be a priority. These discussions are here to help you navigate the waters of insecurity and frustration and hopefully guide you to a place of peaceful fulfillment in your own relationships. Welcome everybody to episode 11 of Saving Us. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time, thank you for checking us out.
Yes.
If you like what you hear, then hit subscribe, comment on our page, give us a review, a like, a thumbs up, and just let others know that you can see us here on YouTube and all other podcast platforms, okay? Welcome to our channel. And the first segment is called Positive Words. So our topic today is mental health and how mental health relates to your relationship, specifically your marriage relationship. So these words kind of correlate with our topic today. So my first word is metacognition, and metacognition is a noun. It's a thing, and it is an awareness of one's own learning process. Yes, of one's own learning process or thought patterns. How one thinks about things is metacognition.
Okay.
Yeah.
My word is deontology. Yeah. That is taught by moral philosophy professors, and it is a sort of a school of thought, I think, of philosophy and ethics that says that there's a set of rules that everybody has to follow, no matter what the consequences of those rules. So in other words, let me think of an example. Like if we were debating on whether to do something, whether it was moral or not, like telling a lie. People call, some lies white lies.
Yeah.
And maybe you're trying to save somebody some embarrassment, so you tell a lie. You lie. Mm-hmm. I can't think of a good example, but anyway. But a deontologist would say, under no circumstances can you lie. I don't care what the what the situation is or what the consequences are. It's just a set of rules everybody has to follow. Period. And others, where a consequentialist might say that it depends on the consequences that make that action moral or not.
Like situational ethics or not.
Exactly. I could have just said that. Deontology is like situational ethics. There you go.
No, the opposite of situation. Oh, well, I don't know.
No, it's the opposite of situational. Yeah. There you go. So anyway, break it down.
That's deontology.
Yeah.
As you see, we're outside, so I will be swatting and swinging during this episode. All right. So our next segment is that dirty word. Accountability. That's a dirty word.
Why you say it's a dirty word?
I don't like it. Because I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I don't want to feel bad about it, and I want to live my life. So I don't want to be accountable.
Yes. And so you won't kill yourself. That's why accountability is there.
No.
Yes.
Just no.
You don't want to do it.
I don't want it.
Well, what are we supposed to be?
I don't like it.
What are we supposed to be accountable for?
Our finances, which we have done well this week because we did sit together.
Yes, we did.
And go through our finances, which is sort of a new thing for us. We've been consistent for the last couple of months, sitting together to go over finances.
Yeah, just looking at the budget, seeing what we can do. So we did that.
Just assessing. So
assessing. So that's good.
So yes, that is good. We were able to save some, not as much as we wanted to, but originally that we put on our list. But we were able to put some money in our savings and still have a little bit to take over to next pay period.
There you go.
Very good, very good, very good. How about your health, sir? How have you been doing?
I don't know. You should go first on that one.
I should go first?
Yeah.
I am just holding steady. I would say my health is good.
Probably,
my weight is holding steady. But I am perfectly healthy, which is wonderful.
Right? That's good. Well, with that, then I would say we're probably the same. We've probably both been holding steady, which is not good for me because I want to keep going down.
So according to the what do you call scale?
What you call that thing? Yeah. Yes.
Huh.
I mean, you're going to dip, go up and down.
Yeah,
the scale doesn't go like that. I've learned.
Yeah.
But I'm dipping very slowly.
Yeah.
I want to dip.
Plus, we have a scale that gives you percent, like points of a
Body
pound.
fat. Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
I
like-
got you. Yeah.
177.2 or whatever.
Yep.
So I count them all. Though.
So if you go down 0.2 of a pound, that's it. If you went down 3 ounces, hey, I lost weight.
That's it.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Who cares if I just use the restroom?
Yeah.
that was probably the 3 ounces.
Or if it's in the morning, you're supposed to get up in the morning. But ours also has body fat percentage.
Oh, I've
You know,
never
when-
done that. I don't know how
Oh,
to
it's on
find
there.
that on there.
You just got to just stand on there.
Oh, you just stand on there long enough and it changes?
Yep. It goes to
But
your
how
body.
does it know like your density and
I have-
height and stuff like that?
I have no idea. You know what? It might not be. I might have calibrated it for me. So
Yes, you may
yeah,
have.
probably-
Yeah, probably. So.
Yeah. So that could be. I don't know. It's a Fitbit scale. So I think
Oh.
it is
So it might have all the information you put in Fitbit about
initially.
yourself.
Yeah. Right. Even though I don't use Fitbit anymore, but I use Apple Watch. But yes. Yeah. So that could be. So it may not be your correct. What is it called? BMI?
BMI, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the difference between Fitbit and Apple Watch? It's not the same company?
No. Fitbit is
Oh.
a different company. Apple is its own company.
I thought Apple owned Fitbit. I thought it was all the same.
Maybe they do. Y'all know. I have no idea. But I think they're different companies still. Apple's taken over the world, so I would not be surprised if they.
Because they're the best.
Oh,
I
All
guess.
right.
I don't know.
yeah.
I probably would not be the right person to say that
Yeah.
or not. But I can use Apple products pretty easily, so there you go. I like
Yeah.
them. Okay. All right, so in our discussion topic today, we're talking about mental health and marriage and how mental health affects the marriage relationship.
Right.
So our first point is why discuss mental health as it relates to marriage? What do you think?
Why?
Yeah, why take the time to discuss mental health
Well,
and how it relates to marriage?
it's. One thing I think is that in the past few years, mental health awareness has grown.
Yes.
I mean, mental health has always been an issue. It's not like it's new.
Yes.
You know, but
Lack of mental health.
or lack of mental health. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lack of mental health, whatever that may be. Because, I mean, what are we're talking about all kind of like depression, anxiety, PTSD,
bipolar disorder,
yeah.
and et cetera, et cetera, et
among
cetera.
a bunch of other things. So, all those things have been around. But the reason why we're discussing it is because it is I think number one is it is a factor and it does affect marriages and relationships, obviously. But also, I think that one of the things that I read in our research on this subject, we are not experts on
At
mental
all.
health, but our research
We're
on
a
this
little
subject,
crazy.
well, yeah. So in that area, we're experts, but I think that it's because it seems to be there's common mental health issues that it's not addressed maybe as much as it should be, by either by people who are married or maybe by therapists. I don't know that.
So what you're saying is that most of us have some mental health disorders, and because it is so common, nobody recognizes it, so we don't address it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. Yeah, most of that, except for I'm not saying that most of us have mental health issues. We could, but I don't know because I have not talked to everybody in the world. I'm always careful about that. But I think that, yes, I think those who do, those issues seem to be more and more common. Kind of like this. So when we were little, we never heard of, well, I can't say we never heard of, but I never heard of a peanut allergy. Okay?
Right.
When I was little, there
Very,
was
very rare.
there was no peanut allergy.
Yeah.
Everybody ate peanuts, and it was just only reason why you didn't eat them is you just didn't like them.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, you can't have peanuts on an airplane. You can't smell peanuts if peanuts are in the air. Because
Can't touch somebody if you've eaten peanuts and then
touch them,
have a reaction.
Now why that is, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a real thing because people have reactions,
Right.
and some people have fatal reactions, I guess. But it's kind of like how that is now. It became a big thing, but now it's so commonplace that you don't think about not having peanuts, here or there.
Yeah.
It's just a common thing, and so you could go somewhere and slip up, because it's, I've heard this before. And
Yeah.
it's become so common. So I think kind of like that some of these mental health issues seem to be common, that it's not addressed.
Just not addressed.
Yeah. And it does affect the marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. Okay, so today we're just going to focus on depression specifically because, number one, we're not experts, so we really have no business talking about all of it.
Yeah.
But
In depth.
In depth, really. But we just encourage, we just want to bring out different topics that married people deal with,
yeah.
And different things that could come up in your marriage, and maybe you're not recognizing it, and maybe you don't know how to bring it up. So maybe this podcast, this episode can be an entrance way. You could say, hey, you want to sit down and watch this with me? And if you feel like this is something that's affecting your relationship, it can be an open door for communication. How
Right.
about that?
Yep, that's
okay.
good.
So we're talking about how does depression affect marriage and the family? Well, if a person is depressed in the family, usually their personality changes, sometimes incrementally, but sometimes drastically. Like if you're married to somebody or in a relationship with somebody who is usually really outgoing, usually has a lot of pride in how they look and how they present themselves, and then that changes. Maybe if it's a woman and she usually has long flowy hair, and then one day she just cuts her hair off, or she usually goes out with her face made up and looking real nice, and then she just starts walking around in sweats and
Looking crazy.
and t-shirts and a bonnet on her head or whatever. But those are signs. Something's going on. Or if you're married to somebody who usually is very pleasant, but then they're more and more irritable all the time.
And they haven't been drinking.
Yeah, and that you know of. And sometimes
Well,
things
that
like
you know
drinking or smoking or using recreational drugs comes along with being depressed, because the person is trying to get out of that feeling. Or, if they're hurting or, something's triggering them, they don't want to deal with it mentally, so they'll turn to a substance. Just like eating too much or watching too much TV or shopping or gambling or whatever. Using a substance covers up whatever's going on inside of them. So it can affect, of course, the marriage relationship. Because why? Because one person, you may not recognize it in yourself. Your spouse may not, or your partner in your relationship may not recognize it as depression. They just might think you're tripping. They not
Right.
understand what's going on.
You're moody.
Or you're
What's wrong with you
moody,
today?
or somebody got on your nerves at work or whatever.
Yeah.
It can affect your children because it will affect how you communicate with your children. Like if you're more harsh toward them because you're not feeling well, you might
Right.
be more critical, or might neglect them, really, if they're toddlers or whatever, or elementary school
That's
age
true.
kids, or any age really. You could just isolate yourself from them more, which would leave them like you don't care. My parent doesn't care about me. So those are common ways I think that it can affect
A marriage.
a
But,
relationship.
Well, and then from that, you grow distant.
Right.
It affects your communication, and then also now again, this is just research that we've done, not heavy research, but
Right.
It's more obvious. This would be obvious, but it's more likely that if a person in the marriage is dealing with a mental health issue or lack of mental health, as you say, issue, then the marriage is more likely to dissolve.
Yeah.
And that person is less likely to get remarried.
Yeah.
Statistics
if you
show.
stay in that mental state.
If
Yeah.
you stay in that, yeah.
Because you become hopeless.
Right.
and,
I tried it, and
Yeah. Yeah, you tried it already, and you don't want to. You don't want to try again.
Right.
It's too much work.
Right.
It's too much work.
So it can affect your and a marriage. I mean, we're not. I know we're doing Saving Us, and we're talking about marriages, but we're not talking about this specific subject. But marriages have ups and downs. Obviously, you go just like life.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be working toward fulfillment, and your
True.
relationship is supposed to be
Yeah. Relationships in general should be fulfilling.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And that this will hinder that tremendously.
Yes. Yeah.
So that
True. It would be, especially for the spouse. Well, for both, but especially for the spouse,
I mean,
because the one who's
is
not suffering from depression, who
Right.
has to deal with it.
right.
It's not fulfilling. The relationship is not fulfilling for them at all, which leads to divorce,
Yep.
dissolution of marriages. So,
Yeah, it could make them depressed too, or start feeling that way.
right?
I think. Again, that's not an expert opinion. I'm just saying from observing relationships.
I think it depends on how secure a person is in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like if their partner is depressed, they might think, well, what is it about me? You know, if you're the kind of person who thinks everything is about you,
Right.
say what is it about me that made this person depressed, or made them fall into depression and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it could cause depression on both people
Right.
if it's not resolved or not dealt with.
Yeah.
So what can we do to deal with depression in our marriages? What
Right.
can we do? So I think
the question.
the first one is to recognize it, right? So you have to recognize the patterns. You have to recognize what's going on. First of all, pay attention to your spouse.
Right. that's
So if you if you notice some changes, but not really, and then your spouse just seems like they're drastically changed, you haven't been paying attention to
Right.
the signs, because usually if you outside of a traumatic event like the death of a child or another family member or the loss of a job or something like that, if it's just day-to-day stuff, then those changes have probably been happening slowly but surely over time.
Right.
So it's important to pay attention to your spouse, and comment. Don't be afraid to comment on those changes. I think I think for most people that will be a sign that you care about them. If you notice, hey, what's going on? I noticed that you're not yourself.
Uh-huh.
You're not dressing the way you usually dress, or you're not doing your hair the way you usually do your hair. Whatever it
Yeah.
is.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? I noticed these changes. So
Right.
can you tell me more about that?
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so you just have to find a way to say it so it's not. I mean, obviously you should know your spouse,
Yeah.
so you should come across in a way that it's not offending.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
what's wrong with you? Why are you tripping all of a sudden?
Right.
Or
Yes.
and then also and you may not say it in a way like, can you tell me more about what's going on with you? You just have to find your way.
Yes.
You
You have
know,
to find
however-
your way to express it that your spouse can hear. You
Right.
know,
Right.
can understand.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Gotta know their love language.
Yeah. And try not to make it too personal, because we have to remember nobody wants to be depressed or have
Right.
anxiety or suffer from PTSD or whatever. What I've learned recently is that when people are acting strange, if that's a violent way, a depressed way, whatever it is, impulsive, it is much better to have the thought process of what happened to them
Oh.
is better than what's wrong with you.
Uh-huh. Right.
It's like, what happened?
Right.
So there's
That's good.
a why behind your
Yeah.
behind
so
your question.
That's your
Like,
yeah. I got you.
But
Yeah.
what happened? What's going on? What's going on in your life? Not
What's wrong with you?
wrong with you?
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And then also along those same lines, so what you were saying about nobody wants to
Feel
nobody
that
gets
way.
up and says, well, I think I'm gonna be depressed today.
Right.
So when you address it, talk about the depression. If you both acknowledge that there's depression,
Yeah.
don't say your depression.
Yeah.
To say,
Or you can
this
just talk
depression
about
or
it
something. I don't
as
know.
a feeling.
Just
it doesn't. We don't even have to use the word depression. It's like your feeling
Right.
of sadness or
Yeah.
or discontent or whatever it is, frustration. However you can word it.
Right.
You talk about it like that and leave it in objective terms, rather than even saying it's your.
Right. That's what that's what I'm saying. Don't personalize it.
Yeah, don't
That's what you were
personalize
saying.
it. Yeah,
Just say,
because that person
somehow.
doesn't want to carry it. You don't want it.
Right.
You want to be free from it. So that the whole point is to learn how to deal with it, so that eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, you're free. You're free from those feelings,
Right,
and you're
that's
able
good.
to move on.
Yeah.
So while you're opening your lines of communication, what you want to get to is a plan of action. Just like with any other goal you're trying to reach, you have to make a plan. So when somebody's dealing with emotional turmoil, you have to have a plan of how coping skills of how to get through it.
Yes.
How to get
coping
over it.
skills. Yeah.
So I think, like you said earlier, knowing your partner's love language would probably be the best way to get through bouts of depression or anxiety. Because I don't know this is true. I don't know. Just my mind. I think sometimes there is a lack of a feeling of empathy. If a person is depressed, you might feel like nobody understands you or nobody cares
Right.
that much, so I think if your partner knows your
That's
love
that love,
language
yeah.
and they express that they do care, and they're, even if they don't understand, but that they're trying to understand
Right.
you,
Exactly. At least they're trying.
it can be very helpful.
Right.
And if you can't get through it, just the two of you working together, there's nothing wrong with
Seek
seeking help.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with it. Seek a licensed, educated, trained professional
Yes.
to get help from. Not sometimes grandma and auntie, they know too, because they've lived longer, and they have experience. And if you're close to them, they know you, so they may be able to tell you some things
so
about
like-
yourself that you don't recognize in
Right.
yourself. So they're helpful too, but seek somebody who has been trained
Yeah.
and knows what they're
That's
talking
good.
about. And if you know of ways that you can comment, please comment to us ways that you have sought help, or some coping skills that you have had, or some experiences that you have overcome dealing with any mental health issues like depression or anxiety. Please put it in the comments and help us to help others,
Right.
as we mentor and shepherd the people that we are over
Right.
as well, because we need all the help
Yeah.
we can get.
We have a very good Christian counselor at our church
Yes.
who is licensed.
Yes.
And she sits on the board of a mental health board as well. So, we're blessed in that way that we have somebody there who's both licensed
And spiritual.
and spiritual. Yes, I would say that. I think that's important as well.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, that's very important. So depending on, hopefully not everybody listening to this is Christian. Hopefully we're reaching beyond that border, as well. But so you want to talk to somebody who is aligned with your beliefs.
Right.
Is that that's not us. I was like, what is that thing?
What?
I didn't know. I thought that was your grill making those
Did
noises.
you think it's the grill?
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. So our next question is, how has depression affected our relationship? Or do
Yeah.
you think it has? Do you
Well-
have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, that time Ohio State lost to Alabama, it was bad. It was bad. I was depressed.
That was our last season.
Yeah. Oh, now see, you're not supposed to. No,
I'm
just
not
kidding.
supposed to remember.
Yeah, you're not supposed to bring it up. I'm just kidding. I don't know. How do you think it's affected our relationship?
I don't say. I know you don't have nothing to say. You don't get
I
that
don't
deep in
really-
conversation.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't. Have you ever known me to be depressed?
Yes.
What about what?
Well, I think when we very first were
okay.
married, I think you were still suffering some depression about not living the fantasy of nuclear family.
Why you say that?
I don't say. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My words sometimes come out too harsh, but not.
No, I know what you
not
mean. You're
having.
Right.
My husband. I was gonna say pastor. My husband is a very romantic person, so he wants the ideal.
Yeah.
If this is a family, you want it to be husband, wife, 2 kids, a dog, a picket fence, that kind of, this is a family. And so not having that experience, and it took us a
while.
long time.
Yeah.
I think at least 3-4 years.
Yeah, I agree
get
with you.
through it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you recognized it
No, I definitely didn't.
as depression.
No.
Well, when I first met this dude, you would sit up in the house in the dark.
Really? I
You
can't even
wouldn't
believe
open
that.
the curtains.
Yeah.
You're sitting up in there in the dark.
Well, because I didn't want nobody to mess with me. Don't come over my house. I'm trying to watch the
and
game.
if you know him now, you are very social.
Yeah.
He's social butterfly, but at that time, he was like, don't
Yeah.
nobody talk to me.
Yeah. And you're right. And I did not recognize it at the time. I just felt like, previous to our marriage, people would always come over my house, and I just attributed it to that. I just want to be left alone. But I didn't think any deeper.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I think you did have some depression
Yeah.
going on there. I know my personality is what they call a melancholic personality. So it's a personality that leans toward depression anyway. You can have bouts of depression, which I have had for most of my life. So
You've had bouts of depression most of your life?
yes.
What do you think it stems from? I mean, not to get
I think
too
it's just
personal.
personality, really.
Yeah, okay.
Mostly, because I've never really had a situation, that say gloom, despair, and agony only.
Like your house burned down.
Yeah,
or,
nothing.
you
Nothing traumatic. That I mean, of course, I've had experiences like most people that are bad. I've had traumatic
Right, of
experiences,
course,
but
yeah.
nothing. I think that would contribute to just having periods where you just, for no reason really, you just like.
So see, that's interesting. Not to stretch this out any longer, but that could be a thing when we talk about recognizing depression. If it's sometimes it could just come from a personality. So what I'm saying is, for me, if I obviously know you and I'm saying, okay, well, she seems like she's down, but nothing happened.
Right.
So she, you just may be in a mood.
Yeah.
So I would not.
And I wonder if that's true for women too, like how your hormones change.
Oh.
That could be it too, because
Well,
I don't know.
But you said you've had bouts of it.
Yeah, for most of my life. But am I really thinking like before I was 12? Because I don't know. Maybe not at that time, but I
Right.
know, since I was 12 on up. Yeah.
Right.
So it could have been hormonal.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
That could be.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
What kind of things have you done to get over it?
Go to sleep.
Yeah, go to sleep.
Eat.
Yeah, I don't know. Going to sleep all the time
And
is
eat.
the best, or eating.
Most of the time I find myself, I isolate myself. Now, I do like people,
Yes, you do.
but being around people for a long time is draining.
Yes,
it
I
is
know that
draining
for
for
you.
me. So if I have to go to work or church or whatever, if I have to be around people for like 8, 9, 10 hours, ooh. So let's say
She said, "Oh,
so let's say you have to be somewhere at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And so if it gets to be like 4, 5, 6 before you are able to get home and decompress, I am not good for anything else the rest of the day. It drains everything out of me.
Yeah.
And even if I want to do stuff, I cannot.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
cannot
So
do
you-
anything but sit and do nothing.
and I don't think there's anything wrong with that." Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just
Okay.
it's just draining. I have to put out a lot of energy to be upbeat.
Right.
I
got you.
around people. But I do like people. It
Right.
just takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, how have I dealt with being depressed? Eating,
Yeah, those kind of
basically.
ways. Okay.
eating and sleeping,
All right.
and just getting through it. And then one day I wake up and I just feel better.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's just strange.
Yeah. All right.
All right. How have you? All of those. All right. Okay. That means it's
let's
too
go.
long.
Yes. Let's go.
I don't think it's been that long though. We're not even finished. So we are having another reason why we're talking about this is because at the church we are having a mental health, I'm going to call it a summit, or is it a conference? What is it?
They're not calling it a summit or a conference.
What is it
it's
called?
a discussion.
A
It's
discussion.
Healthy minds, healthy life discussion.
There you go. See, he knows.
Yeah.
Healthy mind. So go ahead and talk about it, sir.
Well, so on July 31st at our church, the Life Church in Bloomington, Indiana, we are having a discussion from 1 to 5 on mental health. And it's called Healthy Minds, Healthy Life. And I think we have a keynote speaker,
Michelle Sims,
Michelle Sims, who is a nurse. She
Master
is-
of Nursing. She's an RN. She's the Vice President for Mental Health America. She's the chairperson of the Suicide Prevention Coalition for Monroe County. She's a court-appointed special advocate for Monroe County. She does all the things.
Yes. so she is very, very qualified, and we're very excited to have her as our keynote speaker for this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to do the keynote, and I think that's going to be live. We're going to do that maybe on our Facebook page and our website.
Okay.
That we may stream that live. I have to verify that, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to stream the workshops, but we will record them.
Mm-hmm.
except for the discussions that people have who are in the workshops. But we'll record the workshop leaders' discussions. So anyway, that's going to be 1 to 5 on July 31st, 2021. And we're really
free?
excited. It's free. People have to register, though. If you're coming in person, you must register.
And where do you find registration information?
Well, we don't have it out yet. So you can start registering July 1st of 2021, and we will have it on our website. We'll put it on our Facebook page. We'll put it on one of our forthcoming, is that the right word? That's coming after this. Forthcoming,
you
saving
see how
us.
churchy we are. Forthcoming.
Forthcoming, yes.
Saving us episodes.
Saving us episodes. We'll put it in the
Description.
description. Thank you.
Description box. Yeah.
Yes, we'll put it in the description box how you can register if you want to, and then we'll also put in there how you can watch it online live.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so tune into that and just get some pointers on how to deal with mental health issues in your own relationships,
Yeah.
because we all want to be healthy mind, soul, spirit, and body.
we do the discussion is more focused on youth. Young people. I won't say youth, but young people. It's because it kind of stems from our youth group, but it does deal with how parents and children, how they deal with it, or mentors, teachers, and all of that.
Okay.
But the kind of the main focus is on youth.
On youth, because our youth requested it.
Right. But it's for everybody, but just
Very
as
good.
yeah.
Very good. Well, our last segment is, how do you really feel? And I don't usually have problems talking. That's not true. I'm just lying. I was going to say I usually don't have problems talking about how I really feel, but that's not true, because I do. I'm always trying to please people and not talk about how I really feel. And when I do, people are like, what?
Well,
Well, why'd you say that? You asked. No, sometimes they don't ask. I just be talking. Then I got to repent, ask people to forgive me, such and so forth. But anyway, do you have a topic that you want to talk about, sir, for how you really feel?
how I really feel?
Yes.
Well, the only thing I can say about how I really feel today is this year, after we've gone through, well, I don't mean the pandemic is over, but after we've gone through what seems like it would have been the bulk of it, and now it seems like we're, coming through it and starting to get back to some sense of normalcy. One of the things that I've learned is, I think that was reiterated to me through all of this, is that life is just going to be ups and downs.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like we shouldn't be too high on the highs and we shouldn't be too low on the lows. And I feel like we make mountains out of molehill. I say we. This is for me. When something happens, I make it too big of a thing. And when there's something that this doesn't interest me, I don't make it a big enough thing. So just to be kind of steady and even. So I really feel like life is going to be what it's going to be. You're going to wake up tomorrow, Lord willing, the creek don't rise, and I know I used this word already in the last season, but everything is figure-outable, and it's going to be all right. So how I really feel is everything going to be all right.
Everything is all right.
You just got to keep on moving.
Just keep
As long
going.
as you keep moving, it'll be all right.
Well, see, I needed to hear that, because my answer to how I really feel is scared. I am really feeling scared. I'm really feeling scared about the future. I'm really feeling scared of, uncertain. Not just uncertain. I'm downright scared, to be quite honest with you.
Scared?
And that's just how I feel.
What you scared of?
I'm scared of failing.
Failing school? Failing life? Failing...
All of the above. Yeah.
Well-
I'm just scared of failing. I'm scared of getting to a point and looking back and saying it was not worth it.
Okay.
And that's how I really feel.
Well, what is your grade point average? Because she's just about done with school. She just has her
I don't know
dissertation,
what
and
it is.
she got to give a concert, recital,
Yeah.
a couple other things. But really, her classes are done, so she's really. But you don't know what it is?
No,
I bet it's.
I know it's passing.
I bet it's above a 3.5
Yeah, it's probably about around there or higher.
or higher. I guarantee you. So
Yeah.
let's just think about this. You have a 3.5 or higher grade point average in a doctorate program. That's very, very difficult, because I don't know what all them words you've been using.
Yes.
And
Okay, yeah.
you went back to school.
As an old lady,
at
46,
yeah,
something like that. 47?
This is not that old, but yes, as a middle-aged adult, you went back to doctorate school. All right, and yeah, doctorate school. That's what I call it. And you can cook like nobody's business, and you keep a very. It is. Look, I'm the one who consumes it. Trust me, she can cook, and all her kids will tell you she can cook. This is what got me. You think our first date she cooked? You don't even remember that. You don't even remember that, do you? It was baked chicken, rice, and it wasn't green beans. It might have been greens.
Really?
Yes, it was so good. I was like, oh yeah, I'm hooked. So you can cook. You keep a great house. Your kids and I know that. At the same time, you've been working a job, even though part-time, but still, you've been putting a lot of time into that job. I mean, look at all the things you do, and you haven't failed at any of those things. So, and I could name a whole bunch more.
That's
why she's getting a doctorate degree, and I am not. But I can name a whole bunch more.
Okay, I have to be wrong. I am scared about everything. But I think the reason why I'm feeling particularly more fearful today is because I have another audition coming up, guys.
Oh, here we
I have
go.
an audition coming up on Monday.
This Monday?
Yes, Monday evening
I
for
didn't
The
know
Color Purple. And I've already been rejected for that
Don't
show
say
a couple
that.
of times.
Don't put that on here for them.
But it's true.
I know, but don't say that.
So, and it's not like I haven't had rejection. I auditioned for graduate school at least 3 times before I was accepted anywhere. So I'm used to this. But this I believe will be my last opportunity, I should say, to
Why?
audition for this particular
Oh,
show
well, this
because I'm
one.
old and
Old
it's
people
not
in
it's
Color
not going to
Purple?
come around all the time. So it'll
Yeah.
be some years before it comes around again. And so I want to get in it. I just want to be in the chorus. That's it. I just want to be a part of it because I love that show. I fell in love with the book when it came out in 1984 or 85. I think it was 85. I think I was 15. But anyway,
Yeah,
so I love that show. But yes, so I'm preparing for that.
All right.
So,
Well, don't worry about it. Like
so
I
say a
said,
prayer for me.
Like
Well,
I
this will be
said.
after the fact when you guys see this. But
Yep.
anyway.
But like I said, tomorrow's gonna come,
It
Lord
sure
willing,
is.
and the creek don't rise, and you're gonna be all right.
I'll
Get
be
in or
all right.
not, you're gonna be fine. So
Well, that's true.
yeah,
I just
you
be
can-
disappointed.
you can do
So
it.
if next week I'm crying, I didn't make it.
Everybody's
I'm gonna
disappointed.
still go to the show though because I like it that much, and I know other people
See,
in the show. So.
If I was auditioning and I didn't get in, I would not go to the show. I'd be
I
like, y'all
know,
should have had me.
but I love that show,
I'd be like, y'all should have
and
had
I
me
love
in
the
it.
people in the show.
And now y'all's show is stinky.
So
cat
what?
dookie.
So what happened? The pandemic has been working for me. So this show was supposed to air. It's supposed to be last semester, I think, and maybe last fall, and I didn't have time to do it. It was too much going on with school and
All right.
everything going on. Anyway, I was just like, Lord, just with the pandemic, let it not work. And it didn't. So, so now the opportunity has come open again for different auditions, more auditions.
You spoke to it.
So
There you
I'm
go.
like, I got another
See?
chance.
There you
So
go.
I'll have more time to be in it this time around and be comfortable because I won't have classes. So
All right. That's good.
So-
You can do it. You
so
can do
I'm
it.
nerve
She can do
sighted.
it.
Nerve
She can
sighted.
do it. She can do it. All right.
So thanks for watching and listening to me talk about my personal business on here. But that's why we're on here. So
Yep.
if you listen to the end, good for you. Thank you so much. And we love you. Also, give us your comments. How are you overcoming? How are you getting over your fears, frustrations, and all of that? And let's just all save ourselves together, okay? Until next time, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.